everybody that's sitting at your table is family and they all believe in God. Are you going to pray? Oh, right. Okay, let's say you're sitting at the table and you're the only person that believes in God. Are you still going to pray? That's a great answer. That's a great answer. Remember that. So that's actually something that I actually used to struggle with, right? So when I was younger, and this is just a personal story, again, grew up in church, grew up with God. I went to an art school. I went to Cyrus School for the Arts, right? And one thing there was, that was my first time really being in a situation where I met a lot of people who weren't Christians and did not actively believe in God. And a lot of them were actually very loud with how uncomfortable being around Christians made them. And you remember how I talked about peer pressure? So that was actually a situation where I let peer pressure negatively affect how I interacted with God myself, right? So I would actually be in situations and I would downplay what I did on the regular, just to appease the world and just to appease the people around me, right? So a lot of you guys might be put into situations like that where, hey, I don't think I want to join this conversation, right? And it could be something even simpler, right? Somebody's bullied right in front of you. Somebody's getting dogged down, somebody's getting really made fun of. You want to stand up for them? Right? And no, like somebody said no, and I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to judge everybody, because you know what? I've backed down. I've been in situations where I know I should have spoke up, when I know I should have said something, and I chose not to say anything, right? It happens. Life will test you, and you will be put into situations where you have to make a decision, and you won't always make that good decision, right? So never let the world limit the way that you are praising God. You should never downplay who you are as a person or who you are as a Christian for the people that surround you, right? And if you haven't been put in situations like that, it will pop up and you will fail sometimes. Nobody's been perfect with that, but I think that you should always just strive to do better, right? Cool. This is my last one now, and then I'm going to wrap it up and we can kind of have a discussion. If y'all want to have any more story times, I can tell y'all about situations that I've been in and stuff like that. We can do story time. But I also don't know all the other things we have on the program, so I don't want to take too much time on talking. But the last one, so we did pride, we did praise. The last one's going to be prayer, right? So prayer is something that I've always struggled with, right? Because, let me ask this. What do you guys consider prayer?
I consider prayer to be having a conversation with God.
Does that conversation have to be out loud?
No.
Do you have to be on your knees in front of your bed every single time you pray? You can pray anywhere, right?
Yes.
So if we know we can pray anywhere, it doesn't have to be out loud. I think that prayer should be something that you're constantly doing to God, right? Who here has got money? Okay, so who here would say they have anger issues? Who here would say, like, oh yeah, I got anger issues, right? Yeah, so I actually used to have like really bad anger issues when I was a very little kid, right? I got picked on a lot, and I would get triggered very easily, right? And when I was in second grade, right, I had just gotten into a fight. I was trying to go from one classroom to another, and 3 kids stopped me in transit, right? And they tried to fight me in between first and second grade classroom, right? I won. All right. In case anybody was questioning, all right, I won. I'll fight them to this day. So, anyway, so it was really bad. My teacher actually pulled me to the side and had like this really deep conversation with me, right? And it was then that I realized I had a lot to lose, right? That I had a lot that I had worked for, and just fighting driving like that, man, all my stuff is going to be taken away. I was going to get grounded. Life was going to start going bad because I lost my cool. So with prayer, you should always try and talk to God. That can be at night, you know, when you're trying to make a decision. You got a big decision coming up. You know, ask God about it. Try and have Him send you a sign. That can happen right in the heat of the moment, right? It can be so quick, so minuscule, and so tiny. It can be just a matter of, God, please help me. That's prayer. You know, God give me strength. Something quick, something constant. You should always just try and consult with God before you make any big decision, because sometimes we need that. Sometimes you don't think about things clearly, and sometimes you have to just lock up. Sometimes you have to lock in real quick, and you will, and like I said, life will test you. So have those regular conversations with God, because sometimes even now, I have to learn how to pray. I have to learn how to listen and actually have those conversations with God. Because God could hit me on the back of the head and say, no, the answer is A, and I would still be like, okay, look, could it be B though? Could it be C? You know, could it be something? Could it be something else? I'm hard-headed. I don't listen to signs. So sometimes my big mate, I'll be like, hey, God, can you send me a sign? If I'm supposed to do this, God, can you? And I think one time I was like, hey, God, if I'm supposed to break up with this girl, if this girl is not for me, this is actually a true story. This really happened. I said, so I was, and I'm gonna leave on this story. I was gonna leave on a girlfriend story, but my girlfriend story was always pretty crazy. Y'all too young to date, don't date. It's a waste of time. People just have friends. So I was dating this girl, right? My parents did not like her. They never like her. They kind of like the one now, but we'll see. But no, we had a lot of problems, and I was really back and forth on whether I wanted to keep on, you know, dating her, if I wanted to be with her. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Right? I was really at a crossroads. I didn't know left from right, all that stuff. And I had been talking to God for over a year, trying to figure out, like, you know, what my next step was going to be, whether I was going to keep it going or whether I was going to give up on it, right? Because sometimes you don't know that, right? And again, y'all should not be dating. But I know that sometimes y'all probably have had friendships. Okay, so let's just say this was a friend. Probably should have started and did that, but I'm in God's house, so I'm not going to lie. But let's just say, so this is my girlfriend. And I said, God, I don't know if I should be with her. And I heard crickets, like I was just, if he was sending me a sign, it was going right over my head. I did not catch it, right? So I said, God, if I'm supposed, and we took a trip. And we went somewhere, and we were there for like a couple days, almost like a whole weekend, right? And it was very romantic, something that you would see in the movies, yada, yada, yada. And I said, God, if I'm supposed to break up with her before this weekend is over, I want to hear the word. And I had to pick a word that you just wouldn't hear on a regular basis. I said, I want to hear the word oyster. I want to hear the word oyster sometime during this weekend, but it can't be in the context of food. Like it can't be a food or an item. Somebody just has to say the word oyster for no reason. And if that happens, that's my sign, let's end it. It was literally right before we left to come back home, and we were watching a TV show, and on that TV show they said, oyster. They said the world is your oyster. And I was like, I just sat up and I was like, and I was in Atlanta at the time. We woke up and I drove the full, how far away? 8 hours. I drove a full 8 hours home by myself, just staring at the road, because I was like, dang, that's the answer. And you know what? Then we broke up, and I'm happy, she's happy, life goes on, right? And I think that's like a real situation where I was actively talking to God, and nobody's answer mattered, you know? Because sometimes as you grow up, you're gonna realize your friends don't know any more than you do. Just How are you gonna listen to somebody that's your age going through the same thing and is not in any better position, right? Don't listen to your friends, all right? They don't know what they're talking about. Your parents, they know a little bit more what they're talking about, so listen to them, all right? But at the end of the day, everybody can be fallible, but God. So that should be who you listen to. That should be who you always try and rely on for your help, for your strength, right? Because some people worship their parents. Some parents worship their kids. God should always be the first person in your life. Then it's your family. And then it's everybody else. So I applaud y'all for coming out here. Sorry, some of y'all were forced. But at least we're gonna have some fun. I hope we have other things. I hope we also have other things planned. I know that there's other events happening later on this weekend and stuff like that for y'all to do. But you know, as y'all are coming here every Sunday, really try and learn and absorb this stuff, right? When I grew up in church, there was always a lot of kids. As I've gotten older, my friends don't come here anymore. You know, I still have friends that come. They don't spend a lot of time. You have to make this decision for yourself. And I'm not saying that it's going to magically make your life any better. If anything, sometimes being a Christian makes things hard. It's hard to do the right thing. It's really easy to just go with the flow and do what everybody else is doing. But eventually, you're going to make that decision where it's like, hey, you know what? I don't want to do this. Not because anybody told me to, but because that's just not who I am. That's not who I believe. And when you walk away from that situation, you will feel better about yourself. Because it's a decision that you make. Because it's who you are. So when you're coming here every Sunday, try and really listen to those lessons. You know, whether it's Sunday school, whether it's Bible study. You know, Minister Hester actually it was Minister Hester and Mr. It's weird to call him that, but Minister Dwayne, I call him Robin. They were both the people teaching me during Bible study in Sunday school when I was growing up, and they tried their best to make their lessons like relatable to us and stuff like that. Really take those lessons in the heart, because if you don't, the world has to teach you everything, and the world is a messed up, scary place. So that's really all I gotta say. I hope I didn't bore y'all too much. And yeah, a lot of y'all, I really don't know a lot of y'all names. And that's actually one thing that I have a lot of self-conscious about. I don't have as close a relationship with everybody at the church, but I hope that, I really just wanted to do this because I wanted to get a little bit closer to you guys. So, hey, a lot of y'all say hi to me when y'all see me on Sunday, but hey, tell me how y'all week went. If y'all going through something or y'all just want to talk, hey, y'all can talk to me about anything, all right? And I love y'all, even if I don't know y'all names, because y'all go here. And if y'all go here, y'all family with me, all right? My name is Aaron, but my real name is Frederick, right? And people outside here, they call me Frederick. Y'all family, y'all call me Aaron, all right? So anytime y'all going through something, whether it's school, y'all need some help, y'all can rely on me, all right? So I hope y'all got at least something from this. And I hope y'all can take part of this with y'all. So, cool. Y'all got any questions for me? Anything y'all want to talk about? Anything y'all going through? Anything? Cool beans. I think I'm done, y'all.
Anybody think, Brother Aaron?